Sweet. Yay, we did it.
Happy election day.
Oh my
Happy
god,
election year.
for real. It has been election year.
It has been election year. It's been painfully obvious that it's election year.
Yeah, and it's also been a break from the pod year.
Yeah, we took the whole year off to
To
really
really
consider
process.
what we were going to do about this election. And we couldn't focus on anything but that. So
Yeah.
forgive us. We're back now.
Yes.
Now that it's over, we're back.
Yeah, we're back at the dawn of a new age.
Yeah, we are. Um,
Honestly, the fur coat is giving dawn of
Thank
new age
you.
vibes too.
Did you vote?
I
Yeah,
couldn't I couldn't find it. It was so cute too.
that's cool.
Did they give you an option for a cute sticker?
Yeah, I picked my own sticker,
Okay.
thankfully.
It
I
was
got
full.
one free choice.
My one act of freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I took my mail-in ballot in, and so they let me and Camille like skip the line.
Mhm.
And then
That's cool.
but they didn't check my ID, and I was kind of like, damn, I could have just stolen someone's ballot or like gone multiple times. Did they check your ID?
Yeah, but
They
I
did
did.
not check my or Camille's ID.
That's actually so wild. I am shocked.
I know.
I feel
I
like that's,
like looked at her like, what the fuck are you doing too? I was like, I like had my wallet out, like
yeah.
anything you want to ask me type vibe. And then when we left, I was like, yep, they want me to commit election fraud. Like this is just like,
Oh,
why do they not want to check? But
damn. That is crazy. I can't believe that happened. Like, that is some good first person data of America right there.
yeah, I mean it's weird because it's like, okay, they know that I'm me because they had to mail me the ballot. Like
Yeah.
someone, but they don't know I'm me. I could be like, I was just like when I came back, I was talking to my roommates, like, I could have dropped off your ballots, like it would not have,
Literally.
I could go multiple, I don't know, it was weird. But
Yeah,
maybe we were
that's
just done. It was like 40 minutes before the end.
mine was
We were
too,
tired.
but where did you like not you don't have to say exactly, but like was it like a church or a school or
It
like
was a church.
okay. Yeah, so was mine. They like woohooed for me. They were like, first time voter, woohoo!
No woohoos on my behalf.
Oh no.
Utter silence. Just kidding. Maybe they knew what I was doing.
You were like a sneak ninja in there. They were like, get in and get out. We don't even want to know who you are.
Yeah,
Damn,
wild.
that's funny. Yeah, but it was good. Um,
Hmm. So I know we don't know for sure right now, but we
yeah,
kind of know.
no,
But we kind of know,
yeah, I mean,
according to polls, right?
yeah, and also like Biden has already come out and given a speech about Trump being the new president. Trump's come out and given a speech. Harris is supposed to later today. So it's pretty much set in stone, but I was low key thinking, like, honestly, if they did want to really mess with us, like, the way to do it would be to tell a whole bunch of Trump supporters that he won and then revoke that and be like, we found
Yeah, I
valid.
mean, all I've done so far, like it's morning right now. I just like read the morning paper, and by that I mean went on Instagram and Twitter, and people are acting like he won. Do they know anything? No, but they seem to have given up already, which relatable. I would also give up quickly.
That's so funny.
I'm like, no, guys,
Yeah,
you gotta fight to the last moment. You would know that if you were voting for Trump. So,
for real.
I'm kidding.
Oh my
But
goodness.
it is like, okay.
Yeah. I also saw in Arizona that we basically like enshrined the right for women to have abortions up to I think basically what Roe v. Wade was.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was vote. There were signs everywhere to vote on that prop.
Dang. I feel like I didn't really notice, but
But
honestly,
you read it and you
yeah.
voted on the right side of history. Just so everyone knows.
Quite a few people, or quite a few states had some good outcomes
With
for
the
women's rights.
abortion props.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. Great, like, um, my husband and I, for the viewers, Gregory, we were talking about, just like how it sucks that this abortion thing has become such like a controversy because honestly, it's like, um, wait, where was I going with this? So many ideas just crossed my mind
Yeah, we have
about
a
why
lot.
abortion
Yeah.
sucks or like the whole system around it. But oh, like basically it shouldn't be this big deal that we're like obsessed with talking about. Like it shouldn't be that women have to be like, I am fighting for the right to abort children. Like no one really feels that like everyone feels the weight of what it is to have to go through that experience. Like no one's
Yeah.
ignorant to that for the most part. And then on the other side of it, it's like by putting opposition against it so strongly, people are like beginning to kind of get frantic around that issue and careless. Like I'm definitely anti like the government having anything to do with my body
For
when it
sure.
comes to birth. But at the same
And
time,
in general,
it
I feel
literally
like it makes sense, not that you're conservative, but it the logical progression is for a conservative to be pro-choice because of how they feel about bodily autonomy.
right. So
Like,
true. That's such a good point, honestly.
yeah, the only thing that makes it make sense is basically, because they tend to be Christian,
Right.
they believe life begins at conception, which I think a lot of liberals do too. It's just basically a debate over whose right to bodily autonomy is more valid, like
Yeah.
the child that could exist or the woman who already is alive.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love the way you phrase that too, because to me, like hearing it just phrased that way, it's like the person who, like, I get it, they're both alive, but it's like you said, it's like,
Did you?
okay,
I'm back.
okay.
Some shit. Okay, continue.
Yeah, basically, like, yes, this life most likely will become a full-fledged human being if you let it continue to grow. And that's really special because we value humanity as human beings. And at the same time, like it is just um this helpless creature in a lot of ways. Like in you
100%. It's completely dependent. Completely.
yeah. And like just like so many of the people who are like, I'm so pro-life aren't like pro animals life. Like or pro like save soil, which would stop killing all the bugs. Like it goes so much deeper, but for them it just stops at like, oh, I'm pro this baby growing in a human because it's a human being and somehow that's more precious than all the other life that I'm willing to kill for lesser reasons, honestly. Like in a lot of ways, in my opinion, it's like,
I think that's how you know it's a nerfed opinion, and by that I mean just like overly politicized for some benefit
yeah,
because their beliefs don't stay consistent. They're not in alignment with
right,
like
literally,
with
yes,
the other things that are the same thing, they don't notice them.
yeah,
It's just
yes,
like, yeah.
yeah, 100%. And I used to be exactly like that too. So it's funny.
Yeah, I think I was telling you and Gregory that in India, one of their most prominent political debates is about if people should be allowed to eat cow meat because of Hinduism. And
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, everywhere people have their thing that's highly politicized. And yeah, just it's a high emotions conversation that we'll never hear the end of, most likely.
for real. Oh
There's
my God.
no end. That's why we'll never hear the end.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, because it is nuanced, and that's what the truth of it is that of course
Yeah.
there's no end because it's literally such a nuanced experience as is life. And like when you politicize it and make it us against them, then it loses a lot of its meaning.
Yeah, I think it's really un-American the way we're going about it. I mean, I guess it's not. It's American that we're letting it be a states' rights issue, right? And
Yeah,
letting people decide for themselves. But Um, just we value freedom, like that's our highest value.
Mhm.
So the idea that we aren't respecting someone's freedom to do something we disagree with is it's not adding up. But
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's just like it comes back to, that it is so complex, and it's not like people would argue like, "Well, you're harming another life, so that's why we're getting involved." Like, the government naturally does that, but I think, like, even for example, like how the law and our policies and the government officials and stuff largely go after, like, drug users. And it's like, yes,
for
they're
sure.
harming themselves, which is what's happening with a mother and a child. I also think it's just, like, forgetting how truly intrinsic the connection between the mother and child is. Like, it isn't this separate thing, like, they are this one entity when they're in that phase of existence, you know? So it's like,
Oh, for sure. That's yeah.
yeah, I just feel like it doesn't honor that by being just, like, blatantly pro-life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could talk for way too long about the
Yeah,
abortion
I,
stuff.
I wanna let us discuss
Other
other things as well. I don't know who the fuck's
Yeah,
calling me, but they are not going to speak to me.
nice.
Um, I'm
How
pumped.
huh?
I wish every year could be an election year. I love the fanfare.
I felt I felt anxious yesterday, and I didn't
Um,
know if it was, like, because people were, like, really energetic around the election or if I was just feeling anxious, but I'm curious.
I mean, I'm sure it didn't help because, yeah, you just see a lot of, I mean, people, I feel really bad for people who, on either side, right? Like, but in this case, since I think Kamala's gonna lose, like, I feel bad for Kamala. I don't feel like she's gonna handle it as well as Trump would. He would back off, be like, "I'm the best. Y'all just messed up with the voting." She's gonna feel bad.
Yeah,
And then I also feel bad for like the people who support her who feel like this is the end of the world because the way they're speaking about it shows that they're not gonna be okay. Like they're gonna really suffer
yeah,
when they could just realize that no matter what, it's gonna be hilarious and just do the best they can with what they got. So hopefully they find whatever they need to go on.
yeah,
Hopefully
yeah,
they talk to us and
for
realize
real. That life is so much bigger than these guys trying to convince you that you're so disempowered because of what they say.
100%.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I think it's just like, yeah, you have to have that continual balance for real, otherwise it does get overwhelming and stressful, in my opinion. Not because I am like terrified of Kamala not winning, definitely, obviously not that, but just understanding like looking at what's done around our society, around the world in general, and feeling really disheartened and let down by it.
Mhm.
Um, and that does feel really overwhelming, especially because I swear, like, and you should tell me how you feel, but I just really feel like in school and stuff, I was brought up to feel like really proud to be an American, like, and feel like things were good and we were like we were basically always on the up of progression and freedom and just like everything you could basically want to feel safe and supported and alive on a land. How do
Yeah.
you
I feel like I was flooded with that message until 2016, honestly, basically, when
Okay.
Trump ran the first time. And I feel like it was good in a lot of ways because it's a wake-up call that we needed to have actual progress. And I don't think that people should be down on America because there's something really positive about being aspirational. It's like we have to be self-reflective and we also have to be inspired by the ideals that started it all.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so just not ignoring either of them is what we
Yeah.
need. And I feel like it's just like a phase. I'm forgetting what an Overton window. Let me look
Ooh.
up an actual definition of an Overton window.
Ooh. Okay, I'm
If I'm even
intrigued.
saying that way. Okay. Hmm. Okay, apparently it's something in music too. Um,
Hmm.
but what I'm meaning by it and the way it was explained to me the first time I heard it, they're saying noun, the spectrum of ideas on public policy and social issues considered acceptable by the general public at a given time. Um, I've heard it used to basically mean like when things get really extreme, like a lot of people accept kind of extreme ideas and it moves just
Hmm.
even the people lagging behind forward. Like it's basically like a way progress happens.
Yeah.
Um, where people get really extreme, then they realize that it didn't have to be that deep, but it
Dude,
was still
I go
eventually
through
valid.
that every
I
day of
feel
my
like that's what's happening right now. And especially just the fact like these are the first couple presidencies that have ever happened when we had the internet and when we had so much more access to the people in power that it's like an actual conversation now. And just like that RFK has Instagram. That
right.
shit's crazy. Like that was not how Abraham Lincoln was communicating with us. Like we didn't know them. We still don't know them, but like it was just way less. It's like just it's a complete shift
It
that
really
it makes
is.
sense we need to adjust to. It makes sense that this is the first like kind of like select well, he's the most famous person ever. That's what I think. Not ever, but like the most famous person alive right now
Yeah, he is pretty
as our
famous.
president.
Oh my god.
He's infamous. That's the
Honestly,
thing that makes him so famous is that he's infamous.
literally, right. Like
Yeah.
he is like no one is like him, and the fact that he is most likely our president again, I am just like it's a hilarious story arc, like character
Oh,
arc,
for
like
sure.
just it's so funny. And I remember when he was first coming around 2016, I wasn't paying attention to the world. I was still in my bubble of thinking that everything was good. But um
Do
I do
you think
remember
that like everything was good?
okay, like I knew there was like poverty, but I basically thought that like there was no way we I don't even know how to describe it. It was just such like an innocent mindset or like an ignorant mindset where I just thought like, you know what it is?
Hmm.
Everyone's doing the best they can.
And I don't know if you're wrong with that.
Yeah, I think that it's good. It's just that you have to have the growth mindset too. And that's what I was lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like, I wanted to help people and stuff, for sure, that was a big part of my life, and I knew people needed it, but I also yeah, I just felt like I guess I felt like the larger structure, like the system, the government, like, that was working for the people. I guess I probably thought, like, the devil was working against the people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ah, so fascinating. Yeah, I remember when he got elected the first time, I was like camping and my teacher started crying.
Oh,
And then there was like a Mexican exchange student and he was like, "I'm gonna get deported." And
are
he was
you
like
for
really worried and it was like a very emotional experience. I wonder how my teacher's doing now.
for
I'm gonna
real?
avoid talking to him for a little bit and then talk to him, but or maybe
Wait,
not.
was this your favorite teacher?
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. That
I mean, it's awesome. He's the most liberal person that I have ever met.
is
And I think that's amazing for me. And he's smart as fuck too.
yeah.
He's so smart and he's so idealistic. And he's to the point where, he doesn't think, he thinks there should be universal government. He doesn't think countries should exist. He's very extreme and it's hard to represent his ideas when you're not him and let them be justly told. Like, I just can't advocate them, but
Yeah.
he is really smart. I would love it if you would get to talk to him at some point.
That's a really cool description, I feel like, of someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. But that's an intense experience. Like, I feel like that's like a movie worthy experience of like what like if you could like take like an anti-Trump ad, like an anti-Trump ad, right? And like place that experience you had onto that ad, it would be priceless because for real.
I mean, I can imagine.
Oh my god. That sucks. Ping, do you know
Yeah.
what happened to the kid? Was he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. Like,
Okay.
he was allowed to be here to go to school. Like, it was
Okay,
good. He lives in Spain now. I fuck with that guy. He's cool.
cool.
Like,
Nice.
I'm glad he didn't get deported and that everything was fine.
Yeah, but he left. He said bye anyways.
I want to know what the props were in other states. Like, were there props? I know this is kind of, were there props that were the same or that probably?
No, there were some props that were the same because I when I was reading up on it, it was like it would say sometimes if other states it would say even sometimes if other states have voted on a similar prop before, which I love that. Like
I love that too.
if you can look at an example and see like did it work out? Did
Yeah,
it not work
you
out?
didn't fill in your mail in. You went and voted in person, right?
Yeah.
I
Which
was
was
kind of
fun.
jealous because everyone had like the cubicles, like they were taking a test. I was like,
Yes.
wish I was doing that.
For real, it's such school vibes.
It is.
Yeah.
Can't wait till 2028, my
I
next year.
know. You're like, I'm ready
Oh,
for the
something I wanted to say, and also please bring up your, I know you had a lot of questions and thoughts that you meditated on, but um that another thing that I feel like would be good for anyone, but also Democrats to consider is just that, okay, Trump can only have one more term. If we had voted in Kamala, she would have had 2 terms, right? She would have,
yes.
there probably wouldn't have been a primary, and she would have been president again. And
Just
I
like
feel
this
like
last year.
it just shows, like, okay, anyone normal could beat Trump, anyone normal could beat Kamala. Like, it just shows that we didn't have the best options, and this outcome leaves the option for a better Democrat to run in 2028.
Yeah.
And it will probably swing Democrat after Trump again. Just being real.
I could see it definitely because hopefully, as long as they get a good Democratic
As
nominee
long as
in
they have a fucking primary, they
literally.
can probably win.
Yeah, if they could just accomplish doing that, that would be
If they can just do the bare minimum for democracy, I think they have a really great chance.
dude, literally straight up. Okay, I'm gonna expose myself, but I don't care because I don't actually associate with this stuff that much. But and I think I might have told you this, but I was a Republican. Okay, guys, I was. It's true.
When you were
I
like, when?
just like when I could register to vote. I think at 16, right?
Damn, you knew right away.
Well,
No,
because
18,
I
18.
was a Christian. Is it
Yeah.
18?
Mhm.
Okay, well, I was still a Christian then for like a year. I registered to vote, because I was in school and stuff too. I think they help you do that. And I was like working, driver's license, all that. I registered as a Republican because I was a Christian. As soon as I stopped being a Christian, I registered myself as a Democrat. So it's like realizing that lots of Republicans are Christians and I didn't affiliate with that anymore.
Which is fascinating because Jesus would clearly have been a Democrat. Like, I can't with this.
That's so funny.
But yes.
um, yeah, I think of him more as like a heretic figure, but I
Oh,
think,
there's that aspect too.
yeah, both,
We would
because
have all hung out. It would have been awesome.
it
Wish we
would
were
be,
there.
and it is awesome.
And it is. It is. But I wish he could be here, you know? I
Yeah,
guess some people think he is. I wish he was here in the flesh to like be on the pod.
yeah. You wish he was embodied in
I wish he was
a
embodied.
form. um, but yeah, it's funny how like religion is tied in with the atmosphere of like whether you're Republican or Democrat. You know,
Yeah. It's
not
just
that it is all the time, but it is large atmospheric.
yeah, it is.
um, and then I became a Democrat, and basically they fucking failed me. So it sucks, but it's also good because ultimately, if we're gonna be honest, and this is one thing I did write down. this is one tiny part of the reality of what it is actually to be in this society and how things are functioning.
Hmm.
Like a tiny, tiny little piece is the president. A tiny little piece is even any of the elected officials. It's like things are so much deeper than that that I don't, even though I'm excited about like the experience of participating currently at this current time, I also think there's so much more that we have to do as people and recognize that there's so much more going on than just who are we voting for? Like,
Yeah, it's reductive.
yeah, it is so reductive. And that's why RFK was so awesome because it
Yeah.
wasn't like vote for me. It was like, our land is not fertile and our people are dying of chronic disease. So vote for me. Like it wasn't like it's about me. It was like this is the facts. We need to do something. Like,
The American people are tired. And
yeah.
I think that this is gonna be positive ultimately. Like, I think things ebb and flow with people caring about reality. And just like having the internet, it's such an amazing tool. Like, I feel like I just have optimism for the government being accountable, especially after this election. I
Yeah.
feel proud that I feel proud that people were annoyed with the rhetoric of, "Oh, I'm not him, vote for me," and no answers about policies. I tried so hard to find out what Kamala's policies were because I care about being open-minded. Like, I care about finding out the truth, and
Right.
the fact that that wasn't an option and that I was just supposed to vote for her because she wasn't him, that's not a good enough reason.
Yeah. For real.
So, I think I'm not alone and people were tired and they're still tired, which is good because it'll
Yeah.
get them done with bullshit continuously and things will get
Dude,
better.
and you know what else? Like, Trump has promised some fantastic things, and I am gonna be paying attention and I'm gonna be watching, I'm gonna see. I really hope that, we stop going to war and or slash funding war because
That was one of the main reasons I think a lot of people voted for him, is because
yeah,
he's way more likely to stay out of war
yeah,
than Kamala Harris is. It's just true. Um, Obviously, they've both been seen with Netanyahu. They both endorse Israel. That's a deeper question as to why.
right. Exact again, the
Um,
deeper roots of what's going on. We're back. She's back, folks.
um, right. We were at war.
We were at war in conversation. Yeah. I mean, that was also one of the best parts about RFK's campaign, but I think
Wait, what do you mean?
just like how he was so like anti-war, he was just like, we need to end this stuff. And Trump has also said like he said on the first day he's gonna get that shit done with specifically with Russia. I don't think he
I'm
said anything
excited.
about Israel.
We will be keeping up.
We will
Um,
be guys, and that means you will be too if you watch
yeah.
us.
Um, do the Democrats, does like the DNC benefit more from the finances of war than Republicans? Like, why are they able to be less? This is like a shift because I feel like this is a
Yes,
shift right now.
it is a shift. No, that's literally why so many of these people like used to be like so many people that are like in the media and stuff used to be Democrat and have switched to Republican because Democrats basically became Republicans. Like now
Yeah,
they're the ones promoting war when it used to be that the Democratic Party was anti-war, like literally.
literally.
I think I don't know, like it's kind of just like again with like the deeper parts of it and stuff. I really feel like this idea of like two different sides when it's really one system, like I think that they just play on two different like ways of going about thinking about doing things. Like
Yeah.
the left and right can flip flop. They've shown us that, and that doesn't really mean anything. All they're really continuing, like the focus group, the control group of the whole situation, is that there's opposition. There's you and someone that's opposed to you. You know, like even
Um,
if it's just that they want to do it a different way than you.
yeah.
Which,
Um, yeah, fascinating. There, there was this guy, he's friends with my roommate, and we were talking last night a little bit about basically like the white people in America being like a continuation of certain lineages in Europe that already had beef with each other, and how even like you can look at like Democrats and Republicans, their stances as a continuation of the same conversation. And basically it was like, British people and then like Celtic Irish people who he was calling like tribal, and basically saying, the people in the South and people like a lot of Americans have that heritage, and how it was so nuanced and interesting. I want to do it justice, but
yeah,
um, you'll have to talk to him too.
yeah, this sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
I agree with the thread of what
Just
you're.
that the way they see authority and the way they see tradition is distinct, and that they have been at odds pre-America with
Yeah,
this conversation,
yeah,
basically. We'll
yeah.
talk a bit more at another date. But
Honestly, like America kind of takes like people who. That's what America does. Honestly, not that it's always as direct as like it takes directly warring groups. But it largely takes a whole bunch of different ass people with different ways of wanting to do things and puts it all in one area and says, figure that shit out.
yeah,
So it's pretty
yeah.
cool. It's honestly like, it's so special. One of the things that I have not appreciated along the lines of speaking about war and stuff is I do not appreciate the energy that it, not just energy, but like the literal verbalization, but also energy that too many people have had around like casually throwing around the word war. And also too, just like
Wait, what
the
do you mean?
just like
Like when they say like gender war, race war? Is that what you're talking about?
no, not that actually. Like casually throwing it around as like who knows if we're gonna have civil war. Like we might
Or
go to war.
World War III is about to drop.
World War III. Yeah, like all of that, I can't stand it. I think it's so disrespectful and so sad. Even if like all odds seem that we're going to war or something like that, like I don't think that it's healthy to be like settling and like, yeah, we're headed into World War III. Like so many people too casually say that stuff and have said that stuff around this time.
People are so silly. It's a
Yeah,
trope because none of those people are like ready to fight. Like the people who talk like that, they're not preparing for war. Like
yeah.
they're playing around. I feel like that's why. Like it must be something like to help them process the experience and the fear they have about that happening, to just kind of like talk about it so casually, chat
Yeah,
about it. Like you
yeah,
have
that's
to not
valid.
believe it's happening to be able to talk like that, basically.
Yeah, I guess that's so I like that, like, because 'cause I'm just so, like, I do think it's so like, I feel like, guys, we are the line of whether we go to war or not, so we can't be like,
Yeah. Um,
we are.
I listened to Trump on Joe Rogan, and then also I listened to quite a bit of Kamala on Call Her Daddy. I'm not sure if you did.
I listened to some of it.
Okay. But one of like Trump was saying the biggest threat that faces us is nuclear war, which is something I've heard other people who I respect their opinion say.
Yeah,
Um, Although I feel like the threat of mutual destruction is enough to keep that at bay.
yeah,
Um, I think it's cool that he values it because I feel like I don't hear people talking about I don't hear politicians talk about what everyday people are talking about.
Yeah.
So it was refreshing to have something I just heard spoken about. Um, Also, can you tell me what you heard on Call Her Daddy? Mostly I
So
listened. It was like her talking about her mom and like her experiences as a woman.
okay, I skipped I skipped that. I just basically listened to the beginning, like the introduction, which I really liked. I might have told you this, but I really liked how Call Her Daddy introduced why she chose to have Kamala on her podcast.
I liked that too. I appreciated her.
Yeah.
I appreciated her.
Yeah, me too. I listened to like the introduction when they were like first getting into it. I skipped basically when Kamala was talking about herself, and I just got to her talking about abortion. And so yeah.
What did she say?
Nothing really. Like just basically just the same stuff, just like
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it was cool because they did talk about just like how Call Her Daddy values like autonomy and like women like they talked about some cool things like the just the realization as a woman that like even when you are in a circumstance that you don't want to be in, let's say like you always have your personal power. I
Did they
love
talk
that.
about that?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's nice.
um yeah, that was good. So it was, I thought it
I
was enjoyable.
yeah. I think it,
Actually, you should say what you feel.
well, I think it's really cool that they talked about something, right?
Right.
But I don't feel aligned. No, I don't feel I mean, I think it's cool that they're able to talk about being women, right? But I
Right.
don't really agree with something being a women's issue or a men's issue. I think it's like there's issues who exist who concern everyone.
Right.
And to make it only a conversation about things that concern women
I love
was
that.
not a good strategy.
Yeah.
And
It's not wholesome.
and even isn't true about the abortion debate and
Literally.
about the whole thing. Like, um, and I know she said if Trump ever wants to come on and talk about women's reproductive rights or women's issues, he's always welcome on my podcast. That's something Alex
Mhm.
Cooper, I think is her name. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's what she said. But it's like, why can't he come on and just you can ask him about that, but talk about other stuff too. And I think
Yeah.
Kamala needs to talk about other stuff too.
Yes.
And I just
She's
find
ridden
it
that
super
horse.
limiting to make it a conversation about women's issues.
Yeah.
Like, I care about other stuff, actually.
Yeah.
Like, don't treat me like I'm one thing and I'm dumb.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love that. I love like there's like multiple things to what you're saying too, because one, it really isn't just a woman's issue. Like it's humanity's issue,
Yeah.
literally in all levels. Because it's a fertility issue, which is about life. And
Mhm.
also too, like for real, there's so much more. And yeah, Kamala, she really tried to use the abortion thing as like her main weapon, basically, of like destruction
Yeah.
against Trump and against people wanting to vote for him. Obviously, people just also think that he's an asshole. So,
Yeah.
which is valid.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, I was thinking earlier this morning, like when I first woke up,
Yeah.
I was thinking about how like it is so interesting. Like women have been like coerced by their minds. Like they've been basically given like this like hot potato, and they're taking away your fucking rights to your bodily autonomy. And like it burns so bad because it is fucked up. That too many women got too focused on just that when we are like at large scale war, honestly, across the world, we're funding it. We like do have a chronic health disease. We do have like the Democratic Party,
Opioid crisis too. Just every issue, every
the
other issue.
border, like literally every other issue is it's so important too. It's not that the abortion rights isn't important, but it's like you can't say I have this one and then there's 5 other people. Like, if you're gonna say 1 person or 5 people, you choose the 5 people mostly, you know? Like,
Hypothetically.
yeah, like, hypothetically, and yeah, I don't know. Also too, it's just like I read this honestly amazing article I should send you, that was talking about like what could Biden be doing like while he's been in office to promote women's like rights and access to abortion and stuff like that. Like what could he have been doing? And this person had tons of great ideas because I was curious if there was any way for him to be like, fuck you guys, like that's not the law. I supersede it. But that's not how it works. But there's so much that he could have been doing to truly help, and that hasn't been done. So it's like you've had 3 years, dude, to
Mm.
and her as well as VP, especially to get some sort of system set up. Like there was tons of ideas. Some could be controversial, but this person was like, you could even have it where like I don't know. I don't think I'll do it justice because it's kind of a complex idea, but I'll send you the article. And there was just a few things that was like, yeah, you could definitely have been doing that this whole time to better have access for the people who are going to be negatively affected by this.
Yeah.
And what have you done? You just talked shit about the other side and said, vote for me.
Yeah, I think this election, another thing that's great about it is I think hopefully people are becoming more cognizant of propaganda. Like anytime I see a slanderous ad, I turn my fucking brain off. That's it.
Yeah,
Like I'm like, you're a shit talker like I'm in high school. Like
right.
tell me what you think. Don't just tell me the other side thinks this. They can talk for themselves and you can talk for themselves. What is with this telephone game? Like like I just don't even have the time for it. And yeah,
Yeah, it
don't
is
think
like
I'm alone because even like when I decided that I liked RFK and that I was gonna help him, I reached out to everyone
yeah,
and I'm in very liberal circles, which I'm grateful for. Like I love it. Like and but I was expecting to have more pushback than I received. People
yeah,
were way more receptive than I thought they were going to be and just kind of like, yeah, girl, I feel you. Like I might not vote for him, but I feel why you like him. Even though he had so many things against him that were like random and weird, like um yeah, I was like at shoots like, so guys, I'm gonna vote for RFK. They
so
were like,
awesome.
I feel you. And so many people are not voting. So many people I talked to were conscientious objectors to this
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
Um, I know I've told you this, but I just want to say it.
yeah,
Um, just that how you judge, like how we judge other countries and see if their democracy is thriving is basically voter turnout, at least in countries where it's legal to not vote, which a lot of countries make it mandatory.
mm,
And I just think it's beneficial. Like if you were a non-voter, I think that's noble because you're standing by, you're being an objector. And I think when historians look back on this moment, it will say something about our democracy and where it was at that I want future generations to know about.
yeah,
Like just the fact that people didn't want to vote because they didn't have a good option, that means something.
yeah, it matters.
So, I think it's really short-sighted when people, just in general, everything. I mean, I get it because I have to think about not being short-sighted. It's not like I naturally am. Like I have to be like, oh, 20 years from now, how will this be? 50 years from now, how will this be? 100
Right,
years from now, how will this be? If I don't do that, I just naturally think of the next four.
right.
If that. I think about tomorrow. Think
Exactly.
about an hour from now.
Yeah, like what I'm doing in the next moment.
Um, but yeah, I just think it wasn't a loss and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. It makes me really happy that people were open to RFK, and
Yeah,
just a different narrative.
for
'Cause,
real.
um, Yeah, I love when people have a difference, like a stark difference, but they're able to compassionately arrive at understanding each other. I love that shit. Like it
That shit's fire.
really is. It makes me so happy. Like I feel so grateful for those kinds of moments.
Hmm.
So I love that you're out there in the world interacting with so many different types of people. And I'm just like here in my little cottage.
We
That's what I'm gonna
we
call
balance
it.
each other.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel centered by the fact that you're not getting pulled. Like, because to interact with others is to be pulled.
Yeah.
You just are, and it makes you have those little threads at the end that are all ripped up, you know? And that
Mm,
can be fine, but obviously I think it's fine. That's why I do it.
right.
But
Yeah.
I think it's nice to just like there's this consistency you can maintain with yourself when you aren't interacting with so many people
Yeah.
and letting them pull on you.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I do get pulled so much and I do love that. And so I like to have it in small doses. But
Mm,
I really do like, and both of us have that so much. We want to know, like, we want to know people. What are you? Who are you? Like, what is it that you're saying to me? Why do you care about this? Why don't you? Um,
yeah.
and when you're really that open to learning about someone else's experience, like the truth is that every experience is valid. Otherwise, it wouldn't be supported by life. So it's
Hmm.
like, yeah, it can become a little overwhelming. Um, but
Yeah. I
there's
realized I can talk probably till like 12 or 12:10. I don't
okay.
work till 12:30. Were there specific things you wanted to bring up, or do you want to talk about Israel Palestine more or Russia Ukraine or anything?
Mm, I did kind of look at overall what I wrote, and it's not that we've like covered everything for sure, but I don't know if it's some of them were just like kind of little comments that I randomly thought of. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily feel like pulling them out right now just cuz I wrote it down.
Right.
Um, let me think. Like I mean, we for the pod, like we have wanted to talk about like the Ukraine Russia war and our US involvement and NATO involvement and what's going on for a long time. And also about the Israel Palestine conflict as well, war.
As
Whoa.
well.
I just realized that they call it a conflict so often instead of a fucking war.
Or, I mean, they say genocide too, which,
Yeah, which is valid.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
See.
so much has like gone on within these last years with Russia and Ukraine and dang, I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like Putin had the interview with Tucker Carlson. We talked
Oh
about
my
all
god.
of, like, we've talked about all of this throughout the year,
Yeah, we we have guys.
just so you know.
It's true. Um, dang, I don't know. I almost feel overwhelmed trying to think about
Right. I feel you. I
right
feel
now
like
I
it's gonna be interesting. Could we check the polls right now and see,
uh,
like, if Trump is the winner? Which it's been strongly implied he is. Bro, I'm gonna laugh so hard if he's not, and we've just been like spitting.
oh my gosh. Well, hey, I already specified that listen, they could be fucking us over and telling us that Trump wins right now just to make his supporters really angry and incite violence.
It
Hopefully
would do
that's
that
not the
shit.
case. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, what do you think
A
about the
fucking
January 6th?
squirrel. Wait, what?
What?
I really want to know what you said, but I will remember what I was just saying.
Okay, I said, what do you think about January 6th?
Oh, okay, that's such a good one too. I'll say the squirrel thing. I just want to real quick. Do you know about the squirrel? We haven't talked about that yet, right?
No, what the hell is the squirrel?
Oh my goodness, Emil.
The
Okay.
squirrel?
Squirrel guys. I'm
What
sure the
happened?
pod knows.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait, tell me.
Okay, so basically, there was this couple, they owned a squirrel. Okay.
Already weird.
Yes.
Not a pet.
Yes, Gregory.
Gregory, this is our pod.
Yeah.
Get your own.
Um, so yeah, this couple, they found a squirrel, and this or like owned it. It was their pet. They've had it for like 8 years, okay? And this squirrel was like famous on Instagram. Like it had 500,000 followers and online.
Okay.
Um, and I haven't honestly looked into like why it was famous, but this was a famous squirrel online.
Famous for being cute.
Yeah. And basically there was this woman who was like a neighbor or something, I think, with these people who had the squirrel. And she was like upset and spiteful and like telling her friends, like, I'm gonna report this squirrel to the authorities, like, because this squirrel has more Instagram followers than her. And she was like wanting to take down
Jealous.
the squirrel. Yes. And literally she calls the authorities, okay, Emil? And the authorities bust in like with guns and shit to this guy's house. And they take the squirrel. And they also take his raccoon.
He also has a raccoon. Okay.
And basically the people, like the owners or whatever of the squirrel and the raccoon, are like trying to contact them and stuff. And they get informed that their squirrel and their raccoon have been murdered by the fucking
Euthanize.
like the animal cop people of New York. I think it was in New York. They murdered the squirrel and the raccoon. And they said the squirrel bit someone, and so they had to kill it to find out if it had rabies. But no one knows why. There's no answer as to why the raccoon also needed to die. So basically, like, people are in an uproar over this situation.
Right.
There's literal like memes of like the entire America turning red, like all Republican over the squirrel. Just
Wait, why would
because
that make people Republican? Because only Democrats would do this?
because it's like the people who are ruling our country right now is the Democratic Party. So it's like their law, basically. Like that,
They should
and
have
it's New
done
York.
something.
And it's New York too, so it's like it's dem.
Kamala should have stepped in and she should have stepped in on behalf of that squirrel as a attorney.
Yeah, no, for real. But like even like it not even being about Republican and Democrat, people are just so upset about the squirrel because it's literally like why? Like you guys let like a whole bunch of illegal immigrants over and like they're like living in people's like homes and stuff. Like literally they can just like usurp someone's home in New York. Um, but
But you can't even have a squirrel and a raccoon.
and you had to kill them too. Like what?
That's so sad for the people who loved them.
I know. Like he was like this. He's been his best friend for like 8 years, and it's a fucking squirrel. Like those things are really intelligent. Like they have hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and the
want to
raccoon.
find his Instagram. Do you
I
know?
know. Well, they're definitely popular right now.
That's so
Um,
sad.
yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. It's just like it's crazy because for real, it's like
Is it
we
Peanut the squirrel?
yes.
His name was Peanut? Okay, but they didn't put an obituary yet.
What?
Like, it's not clear that he's dead. Oh, he must not be dead. Oh, shit. This is the dad. He's like, I'm absolutely shattered. Damn, I'm gonna miss you, Mousy. Missing you hard today. I might cry. This is really sad, actually. Like,
It is.
I love cute animals.
And like the funniest part about all this is for real, like people are genuinely sad. And I felt that way too when I heard the story, like a genuine sadness in my body. But we don't get sad over like the other terrible things that are going on. Like we're like the government is doing evil things all the time, but the country's in an uproar
You know,
over
the squirrel's dad is kind of cute.
yeah. He looks nice and healthy. Poor guy.
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm just gonna kind of take a second, really quick, to allow people to come in.
Oh, it's alive.
This again, y'all can make fun of me for crying. Y'all can make me. You can call me an actor. I don't give a shit what you say to me. I haven't slept in 3 days and I haven't eaten. So whatever you have to throw at me today, go fucking at it. But guys, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, as I sit in this room, it is devastating to know what happened to Peanut.
Gregory, get
This
out of here.
room will forever be Peanut's room. And I'm gonna probably start crying in a couple seconds, so kind of bear with me as I do this, guys. What I want to do tomorrow morning is I'm gonna go down and make a PO box.
Basically, sorry for his loss.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love how like something that is not that it's minuscule at all, like, but I just love how there are like such terrible things going on in our country all the time. And this is what brought people into an uproar because I just feel like it's like almost when it's lighthearted, we can handle it. Like it's lighthearted enough that we can like be in an uproar and not.
Justice for Peanut and Fred.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That should be a movie.
They should make a movie.
Honestly.
It is just like, get the government out of my body and out of my house.
Yeah. Out of my
I can't
body.
believe they killed them. Like,
They literally fucking bust into their house. Like it was.
that neighbor was jealous. The fact that the neighbor was jealous of the squirrel is already like, oh,
Yeah.
and I think they're gonna like donate to help other animals.
Oh, cool. I'm pretty sure the raccoon was a rescue, like recent rescue.
Damn. So yeah, Kamala should have thought about that.
Yeah, it's also like super think about actually how bad precedent it is. Like a citizen can rat on another citizen and that other citizen can have their house burst into and one of their family members killed. Is what happened. Like
Yeah.
that's such bad like we can't have citizens turning each other in for shit like that. That's crazy.
I know.
Like into the government, it's like, come on, if you think there's a real issue, like if you're like, oh my God, like I think this squirrel is being abused, you know, like talk to them. Like, don't bring the freaking law around and get the yeah, it's just craziness. But yeah, the squirrel.
Yeah, whoa. Peanut. That's what my parents called me when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, because apparently I looked like a peanut in the ultrasound.
That's funny.
And it just stuck.
I feel like you are like a peanut, kind of. I feel
My
like it's just
first nickname was Beeble because I looked like a beeble. And then I evolved into a peanut. And they called me that like forever, but I actually rejected it and didn't like it as a kid.
really which one?
Peanut.
Oh, okay.
I tried to get them to stop.
Did you feel like it made you feel like you were too childish or
I thought it sounded like penis.
that's valid. You're like, can you
God,
not?
no one's gonna respect me if they hear you calling me that. But honestly, I was just dumb and silly
Oh
and
my gosh. I bet you were
not.
such a funny like 10, 11, like
I
10.
was the same. I have not
That's what
changed.
would be so funny.
I know.
Like you now, but when you're like a little girl, you're like, guys.
I feel like I wish I could go talk to myself because I would be the same and it would be silly like to see it.
Yeah.
I wish there were like videos, like home videos. Do you have videos of yourself as a kid?
I totally had so many, but then they got lost because of
Not
them.
talking to those fuckers.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm
what if
just
you could
so
break in
grateful.
and take them?
Oh my gosh, literally my sister wanted to do that. I'm like, it is not worth it to me.
Okay.
Honestly, because they'll also be in them. So fuck that.
Yeah.
I have
You
some.
should steal them. I would totally support her in that. And then I could cut the clips and we could make like a documentary and you guys could talk about your experience and we can post it on YouTube.
Oh my God. Low key,
I would love that.
that would be bold. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys would be like, what the name? The woman in France who's doing the court case against like 50 guys. You know who
Oh,
I'm
I don't think I know about that.
Mm,
Um, I thought I didn't have water this whole time, and I did.
basically, it's the craziest story I've ever heard. Her name's Giselle Pellicot. I guess I assume in French that's I'm just gonna say Giselle Pellicot.
Okay.
But basically she's famous right now because she's going to court against her husband and 50
Oh,
other guys they've been able to identify because for the past 10 years or so, he's been drugging her and inviting men to sleep with her that he met on online chat forums or whatever. She had no idea, and the way she found out was her husband got caught by the police like upskirting some girl, and then they took his phone and they found like all the footage of this one woman being fucked and not being responsive to the men she was with. And then found out, yeah, like her husband has been doing this. They found the chats, so they've been able to identify some of the men, but just like the craziest situation ever. And then the reason she's a hero, I mean, this isn't the sole reason she's a hero, but
right.
the reason she should be persevere is because she is letting the videos be seen in court, and letting her face be seen. And basically, the concept is like shame should be on them, not on her. Like, she shouldn't have to hide. She did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have to
Hmm.
be an unseen voice. She can be herself because she shouldn't carry shame.
I love that.
And so, I forgot why I brought that up, but basically, it's just a crazy court case happening right now in France, and it's like changing some of the laws in France about rape and what it consists of.
Wow. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Um, wow. That's really like
She's
people.
like 70 years old too, mind you. Like this has been happening during her 60s.
That is so wild. Like literally,
It's so brutal.
yeah, like ah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing that these people are gonna get fucking convicted though.
Yeah.
Like fuck
50
them.
of them are.
People never get caught. So many people.
I know. I mean, crazy that the fucker recorded it all.
I know. Oh my gosh. I can't even.
They have like kids together. She had no idea. This shit's wild.
Yeah, that's like that is a straight like horror movie. Like,
They should make a movie.
yeah, she should. Honestly,
Mm.
since she's already fucking being so like open, make some money off that shit.
Also, we have 3 minutes left on the Zoom. Just start
Dang.
again.
Are you oh, we can start again?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down to like start again and kind of conclude, go back to policy, maybe check the polls.
Okay.
The betting odds were always in Trump's favor, like
Oh,
through,
really?
and they say betting odds are more accurate than um what is that thing?
Um, the polling?
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's so cool. I didn't even know that. That is so wild. It makes sense to me. Because people are betting with their money, like
It's
they're
gonna
being
be yeah. Oh, another reason, I think he's gonna be better for the economy. than
Yeah.
Harris.
I mean, gosh, like,
And people want to act like that doesn't matter. People are such on their high horse about
oh
that.
my
Like,
God, for real. Like, okay.
it
Like,
does
just talk
matter.
about privilege for real.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Like, just when you can sit there and say the economy doesn't matter, it's like the economy is your survival. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. What we care, like what we think would be nice for us to do, doesn't matter if your people can't afford to survive.
Yeah, it's like subsistence first and then idealism.
Yes, just like the pyramid of like basic needs and stuff. It's like you don't get to the top where we sit here and get to be like, I want you to speak nicely to me. You know, that's a really like privileged position to be in.
Which we are in.
Yes. Like
100%. And
and some
privilege isn't
people
wrong.
aren't.
That's another thing. Like
Yes.
in the sense that you want everyone to be privileged. Like
Yes.
that's the goal. The goal would be that everyone can focus on their higher level needs
Yes.
and spiritual fulfillment. That's the goal. So I'm happy for the people who have privilege. I'm happy for myself
Yeah.
to be in America. Um, yeah, and I'm happy that privilege will only increase
Yeah.
as the economy gets better and as like just everything that's happening, like people caring, people
Yes.
having the privilege to care, to help others, to get them in the same spot, being like, yeah,
Literally, the fact that we have the privilege to even like be able to look outside of our bubble at all and see what's going on at large and care about that is it. And yeah, I just
yes.
want us like I want to be an embodiment and I want to like promote when I speak with people and stuff like what we have is precious and it will only remain if we treat it as if it's precious.
Back again because basically we still don't know the real outcome or how people are really going to react. And I mean, I have an inkling. Will not respond well. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
well, some
curious to
people are
see.
elated right now, straight up elated. So
Yeah, some insane people are having a really great day.
some people
I'm
are
having a great day,
having
but
big emotions today. That's what's
big
going on.
emotions.
And yeah, like as I was saying earlier, I'm just grateful that I'm at in a peaceful situation right now and that even though people have big emotions that we are not currently fighting each other and I hope that continues.
Yeah, I
And
wonder how the turnover will be like in January, all of that. I was telling Taylor right now that I feel like um in the past year I've gotten more comfortable with expressing myself freely and knowing and feeling like I can ask people to just love me anyway, even though we disagree. And I hope that that becomes a broader experience.
I really love that too
Everyone.
because that's like also so honestly opposite of like a lot of what people like a lot of kind of the bullshit that's gone on around silencing people's voices online and just in real life. And it's like cool that you've had like the opposite experience in your life where like yeah, there may be this bullshit going on with like society, but like you've experienced the liberation of your voice and being empowered and like I love how you're like just being like honest and bold enough to be like, "Can you love me anyways though?" Like,
Yeah, that is my vibe.
"Can we be okay though?" Like,
Yeah, I'm kind of like, can we? Yeah.
and that's the kind of energy I really appreciate, and I hope other people see how valuable it is. And it's possible, like, even
People
honestly, that
do.
it's
It really just
possible.
depends.
Like, people, you know, it's easy to just feel the fear of like, "Oh, if I do share how I feel honestly, and it's in opposition, it will mean XYZ, and I don't want that thing to happen, so I'm just not gonna." But that's so like it's just anti the way that life works, honestly. So I think it's really cool that you're embracing
I feel
yourself.
like it's part of my life path too, because like as you know, I feel very affected by other people, I analyze their perceptions and want to get to the heart of the matter. And I want to recognize that I don't always know what's up. I have to consider what other people are saying to me.
Mhm.
Um, and so I'll like take things, I have to take things to heart to get out to the other side of what's real. And just saying I am really affected by what people say. So I feel like this is part of my life path to
Mhm.
care what people say and still care about what I say.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel grateful for getting to experience this election. And also just yeah, everything that's happening. I mean, obviously I have hope for the future to be actually, progress and whatever, but
Yeah.
I think this is progress. So
Yeah. Yeah, I do too because, it was worrying to me that we might not have gotten to vote for our Democratic nominee and then that person gets to come through and be our president. That was worrying to me. Um so just because that process was so messed up with Biden being so late term leaving, like running for the election, I feel abused by that. I literally feel like misused, like someone tricked me and then just said, here's your only option. Kind of like a theme of what we've talked about is just like, wait, these are my options? Like, for real, this is the best we can do? Like, I don't feel that's true.
no one does. Thankfully, we're all in disagreement about our Discord.
True.
Um, so yeah, I think Taylor and I want to conclude and we want to come back over
We
the
will
next
be.
week or so
Yeah.
and really see what transpires.
Yep. See what this next week brings and
Yeah,
maybe.
see if on his oh well I mean I guess we won't know too. We're gonna have to keep watching and see if they live up to their promises they made too, which will
Oh,
be
yeah.
I'm
That'll
feeling
be
I'm
fun to
feeling
find
faith.
out. You have faith?
I have not like unconceivable, innumerable faith. I have some faith though. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I trust that Trump is gonna let RFK affect um maybe like diet stuff,
Yeah.
regulations and things like that. And I feel excited for that.
Literally, if Trump could just manage, like if the Trump administration, including like RFK, blah, blah, if they could just manage one, the whole war thing, just so big, but like on our land and stuff, if they could manage to save our soil, that would be really great. It doesn't take that much. It really just takes honoring nature's cycles in general. And I know RFK knows about that stuff, so I feel really excited about hopefully Trump letting him do that.
Me too.
Yes. So we'll
Um,
be back, guys, because there's so much we have to talk about. It's been a year.
been a year.
It's been a year.
Well, I bid you both adieu,
Yes.
and I'm probably gonna FaceTime you right after this.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. All right. Peace, everyone. Peace and love. Stay
Peace and
peaceful,
love,
stay
baby.
loving. Um, and talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.